CEO makes in 1 month what it would take my whole department 20 years to make. Just found out the salary our CEO makes, and not including bonuses, he makes in 1 month what my entire department of 5, including my manager, makes in 20 years combined. People don't need that much money. It's just insane to me that one person is given what it would take 5 people 20 years to make. Something needs to change. The curiosity on how high the salary is killing me. For shits and giggles. So if 5 of you were making the minimum wage TX of $7.25 an hour, that would be a yearly salary of $15,080, 7.25x 2080. $15,080 by 5 people by 20 years, $1,508,000. At bare minimum, your CEO's salary is over $18 million? Give us the tea. These two things are not unrelated. He makes that much because you make that little. I am sure if your whole department asked for a raise, your CEO would say you don't need that much money. CEOs make this kind of money while teachers have to have bake sales to support our kids. All 5 of you should leave and start your own company. The president of the university I work for makes $900,000 a year plus hefty bonuses, pushing him over $1 million easily every year. Plus a free house, free car, free chef, free private jet, there are 2 available, free fuel, and free utilities. I'm having trouble making rent. He's not even the highest paid university president. He is in the middle range. Form a union. Make them negotiate with you. Some CEOs make more in an hour than most of us will make our entire lives. It's a crazy system we have where the top gets paid 500x the average worker, yet constantly claims they need to cut costs to help the business in lean times. Time to organize. The union is your sword and shield. And the disgusting part is that what he makes in a year would probably require at least several of your lives full of work to make. So you can work through several lifetimes and make what he makes a year, and you can't even retire comfortably in one lifetime. Time to break out the torches and pitchforks. Never understood the insatiable appetite of the rich to continue getting richer. If my salary was $25 million a year, I'd work for 6 or 8 months and retire very, very comfortably. I'd have to have started working the year Columbus discovered America to make what ours does in a year. Of course it's shocking, but it's not even just the CEO. The boss of your boss is doing less than the lower worker and probably earning 4x. Why exactly? It's called theft. So your CEO didn't pull himself up by the bootstraps? That's why you poop on company time. No matter how much work CEOs do steering company strategy and securing funding, etc., there is no way their work is worth more than 2 decades of work of an entire team. Whoa, the bootlicker quotient in this thread is too damned high. Where did all the simps for capitalism come from? Are we being brigaded by NCAPs or something? CEOs are pointless. Oh, but wait. If we raise the minimum wage, imagine what that'll do to the economy. Let's keep the poor. Sarcasm BTW. My old job. The profit on the equipment I would manufacture in 1 week was enough to pay the salary of the entire 25-person company. I was the only person who worked on the equipment from start to finish. Stuff like this boils my blood. We need a hard reset. For the planet, not humanity. Humanity is doomed. I think it will change, and probably not in the way they'd anticipated. Crossed swords. Y'all should tell him to get fucked and then leave his company. Round up everyone, like everyone, and make sure they all know this number. and then protest working another minute until that is rebalanced. Or, everyone walks and he either goes bankrupt or starts all over again. That amount of profits is just stolen wages. Don't worry. You'll have regular meetings talking about wearing multiple hats. Times being tough. Cross-training and pay freezes until you and others move on to equally brown pastures. Back in the mid-90s I was making about $30,000 a year as an RN. Our giant public hospital had wooden wheelchairs maybe from the 40s or 50s. We didn't have transporter aids though. So the limited number of wheelchairs were rarely available when you needed to transport a patient. Administration had the idea to develop a transport department. There were half a dozen aides hired part-time. Maybe 600 week total for all 6. The manager put over the department made $60,000 a year. Before bonuses. Amazingly, the manager was a very good friend of several administrators. And went to the same church they did. Coincidences never cease. I've heard so many bullshit arguments. But if CEO pay was used to fund worker pay divided between all workers of a company, it would only be in the double digits a year more per employee. I have no idea how so many people can believe that nonsense and bootlick that hard. And if the CEO were to disappear tomorrow, nobody would notice for weeks. Yet in comparison, if a key operational person were to disappear, it'd be instant panic. People don't need that much money. Oh, but they do. Because the essence of power is the ability to project your values, beliefs upon the rest of the world. And money is power. They need more of it. To make you work harder, longer, and cheaper. So they can have even more of it. The endgame is simply to return to feudalism. Apparently, bootstraps are an inherited trait. Bloody hell. If you frame it as people don't need that much money, it will just make the opposition dig in and defend that system. If that CEO is making so much, then that means the employees are bringing in an obscene amount of value to the company, so they should each be paid a lot more than they are. There was a time when if you worked for a successful business, you would become successful yourself. Hard work pays off. These are the lines those people are more used to hearing, and would have a harder time arguing against. It's way easier in America than other countries. Nepotism is real all over the world and worse in many places. 10 years ago, found out the CEO of my company then made as his base salary every hour my annual total compensation. Wait until you find out how much the stockholders get just for owning their little pieces of paper. People don't need that much money, but CEOs aren't just your normal rabble-rouser, are they? There are 2 ways to create a billionaire. 1. You create a novel technology that is on the level of significance as the Gutenberg printing press. 2. You exploit the hard work others. January 5th is CEO Day. By that day, the average CEO has earned what the average employee will earn in a year. What a selfish scumbag. CEO, no, he ain't. But he takes all the risk. Who else is going to manage that golden parachute if the company fails? He's protecting you. This is an American patriot issue. We're brainwashed small-town PPL, unfortunately. Usually conservatives are convinced that if you work hard, you earn more. They also stick up for these CEOs. Honestly, CEOs are just a manager's manager, and it's stupid they get paid that much. I wish the worst for CEOs like that. Wait until you find out his effective tax rate. In a more civilized era, like feudal times, he probably wouldn't have his head anymore. Yes, but he works 1200x harder and longer than you. Right? At least tell me he's 1200x smarter or creates 1200x more value. I'm sure he's working 9,600-hour days to earn that sum. right?